Political Reacts. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into this right now. We all know that what happened last night was a horrific situation. Donald Trump has decided to do exactly what he's always wanted to do, which was to go after Venezuela. The oil is really what this war is all about. This, for those of you who weren't born, who weren't around during the Iraq war, this is what same thing. This is all over again. Iraq was the same thing. They lied to us, told us that there was weapons of mass destruction over there, and it turned out to be nothing but about the barrels of oil that the United States wants to control. Donald Trump, even in his first presidency, had made mention in old videos that he was very focused on Venezuela. They've been hiding behind this whole thing about the fentanyl coming into the country when Venezuela is not even the biggest producer of such drug. That's not where the fentanyl is coming from. It's coming from places like China and what have you. They paint the picture that this is about protecting Americans from drug traffickers who would traffic drugs into America and harm us. But no, because if Donald Trump in his White House were really concerned about drug traffickers, then I want to ask everybody out there in his administration as well, why is it that Donald Trump gave a pardon to Juan Hernandez of Honduras? We're talking about Juan Hernandez, a man who is known for drug trafficking when he was the president. Donald Trump gave him a pardon because he's a transactional individual. One hand washes the other. Donald Trump did it for a reason, because he knew that he could hide, he could do for Donald Trump. So we're not saying that Maduro is a good guy by all means. I'm not trying to say that this man is a good person, that he's a good figure, that he's someone that you should praise, look up to. He has his issues. I think that he was sort of like the fill-in guy for the president that's no longer there. But Donald Trump has been orchestrating a coup from the very beginning when they started the strikes on the boats. Everybody kept saying, what is he? Why is he over there in the Caribbean Sea? Why is he over there trying to run ruckshot? Because you've got oil reserves over there that he wants to control. The United States is greedy for oil. They always have been. Oil is what rules the day. You see, this is an oil facility here. Excuse me there. That's a big, huge oil refinery. Here is another old school power plant type style that needs oil to operate. Look, same thing. And what does this stuff do? Yeah, it helps us to run our cars, get, things of that nature, gives us power, but it also pollutes the earth. And this is really what this is all about. It's about who's going to control the resources in this place we call Venezuela. And Maduro is just he's a cautionary tale. Okay. What I'm basically making the argument is that when they did those strikes, and to this very day, we haven't gotten complete confirmation as to whether those individuals on those boats were drug smugglers or not. There's reports that some of them were just fishermen. Okay. You had family members come out that were family members of the people that they blew up on those boats. I'm here to tell you that blowing up the boats and so-called drug dealers on boats was nothing but a dress rehearsal, a rehearsal for what was really going to come down the pipeline, which was going after the president, get him out of there, destabilize their leadership, bring him over here, prosecute him, even though they don't want to prosecute Putin, and Putin is a war criminal. Bring him over here, get control of the oil fields, because that's really what it's always been about. Resources, oil and resources. That's what Donald Trump is all about. That's what he's a transactional person, as I said before. And it always leads to this sort of stuff like this. Check this out.
The United States hit Venezuela with a large-scale strike early Saturday and said its president, Nicolas Maduro, had been captured and flown out of the country. Here's what to know. Multiple explosions and low-flying aircraft were seen in Caracas in the early hours of Saturday morning. Maduro's government immediately accused the US of an imperialist attack on civilian and military installations. US President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that Maduro had been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. He added that the operation was done in conjunction with US law enforcement. The apparent attack itself lasted less than 30 minutes. Trump said in his social media post that the strike was carried out successfully. It comes after the Trump administration has escalated pressure on Maduro, who has decried US military operations against alleged drug traffickers as a thinly veiled effort to oust him from power.
I just want you all to get a little taste of that. I wanted to start off this video in that fashion. This is about oil. Anybody that tells you, and I did a video about this before on this channel, anybody that tells you that this is about democracy, this is about protecting the people of Venezuela, this is about making sure that they can get control of their oil resources and become wealthy, rich, and prosperous, this is a damn lie. This is what you call an empire. How many of you out there have read the book by James Perkins, Economic Hitman? He talks about how America is an empire, and this is just an empire taking over a small country. And one of the things I noticed about America is that America has a history of attacking small countries that they know that don't have a military that can defeat us. You see, the last time we really went against an enemy that could go against us is in World War II when we went against the Germans. Because why? You had Hitler that was trying to take over the world. He was a dictator. We have one in this country, but his name is Donald Trump. It's not Hitler, but he's getting close to that, in my opinion. His name is Donald Trump. And so since those wars where we actually had to go up against real big time enemies that could fight us on our ground, on their 2 toes, on their 10 toes, should I say, ever since then, we go against small countries that we know we can beat up in a day, and then we flex our muscle as if we're the greatest thing on the block. And Donald Trump is simply just using his presidency to grift for his family, grift for himself, and he's using the military as his personal estapos, his personal police, to do his bidding, not only domestically, but internationally as well. And that's really what's going on here, okay? I tell you no lies, but I tell you truth. That's what's going on here. This man doesn't care about democracy. If you notice, he's not gonna, I'm gonna play you this video where he's talking about how they're gonna take over and they're gonna be there for a minute. And the people there are not happy about this, everybody, because this is about Eugene change. He's been wanting to change what they've got going on over there the whole time, everybody. And that's just the facts. Let me let you see this clip. This man has so much time to put stuff out on social media. All he talks about is the ballroom, and then he creates he does an invasion on a country. What a president. Now they feel that he's illegitimate because he was just put in there to replace someone for the time being, that he wasn't someone that the people of Venezuela overall voted for. But what he did was kind of wrong. The guy, look, the guy is not Maduro. The guy does not have any redeeming qualities. He's not he's not a Boy Scout by any means. Let me just put this up real quick. This man is not a Boy Scout by any means. This is a picture of them grabbing him up. This is the military, bringing him on board their planes. They get him to the United States, which now he's in New York. He's going to be arraigned in New York. I mean, they're going to give him, he's going to go before a judge. He's going to be in prison in New York. I mean, he's going to be in jail. They're going to put him through the whole 9 yards, okay? And let me let you see what Trump said here, too. Okay, this is what Trump put out after that blast on Venezuela. He says the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela. As leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured, funneled out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the United States law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. This is the man that's doing his thing. This is the man that lies to you every which way but loose. All he's been doing is focusing on a ballroom. I think yesterday it was reported that he was spending his time buying tile for the floors in that ballroom. I'm going to be doing a video specifically about that because is he really doing the work of the people, or is he just doing his work? And if he's spending all this time breaking things down at the White House, putting in towel, focusing on ballrooms, does that mean that this man really believes that he will never leave the White House, that he will be a dictated president forever and ever? That's the dangerous part about it, that I'm very concerned, and you should be very concerned about this too as well. Let me go here and give you some more video to put all of this in context. So he says those dumb statements, and then here is the orange man once again, the arrogance that he is. Here is the orange man letting you know what's on his mind. Check this out, everybody. This is interesting.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious, because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't
wait a minute. I got to stop it right there. So you know that Trump has been heavy on the whole immigration situation. He wants to get people out of here. He's got ICE all over the ground, all over this country, snatching people up. You've got even people that are American citizens that have been snatched up off of the cities, the streets of this country when they have been citizens and put in detention centers. You've got people that are here who maybe came over here illegally, but they don't have a criminal background, that's been snatched up as well. He said he was going after primarily the criminals, but then he lied. He's going after everybody. And you notice when he just said here to the people who are here from Venezuela, right? Because you have a large contingency of people from Venezuela in New York. Oh, we're going to fix your country up. We're going to give you your oil resources. You're going to get rich. You're going to be very profitable. And guess what? Y'all can go on back. This fits into Donald Trump's agenda, his Make America Great Again agenda, his Make America White Again agenda right out of that White House, because Donald Trump at the end of the day is focused, as I said before, on the oil reserves, and at the same time enriching himself and getting people out of here who are not Caucasian, who are brown, black, and what have you, because there's a fear about this country we call America becoming more like people that look like me. And that is the ultimate fear at the end of the day. Let's get back to more Trump's nonsense.
Since somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place.
So Donald Trump is telling you straight up right there, they're going to run it. They're going to take it over. They've already taken it. They're going to take it over. They're going to run it. They got rid of the guy that was at the top of the seed. Of course, there's a female vice president who many people are saying over there that, hey, she's going to take over for him. But even Donald Trump had the nerve in this video, I think it's in this video, to say that, oh, she's not qualified to be in charge of the country because he's a sexist. He doesn't think a woman can lead a country. He's a complete sexist. He is a sick in the head individual. He is also a white supremacist. He's a racist. He's a xenophobe type individual. And he's definitely a fascist individual. We're talking about this man right here that some of y'all, I'm talking about some of y'all happen to put this man straight up in the White House. And that's the damn shame about it. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go back to some more of this nonsense right here. This man is crazy, and somebody put this man in the White House, and God help us.
Place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping.
You see what I'm saying? It's all about the oil. It's not about people. You don't hear Donald Trump talking about democracy in this video. You just hear him talking about the oil resources. Like you see on this picture, this video right here. You see an oil refinery facility. You see this sort of stuff, these facilities. This is about money. It's about power. It ain't about democracy. It ain't about saving people. Nah, this is all about what you hear out of his mouth. It's about that damn oil.
And what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in.
See, oil companies go in, take over the oil. United States controls the resources, which is exactly what this has all been about. It ain't about no drugs getting into America. Drugs have been coming into this country and the federal government hasn't done anything about that, okay? This ain't about no people on boats in the Caribbean Sea smuggling anything, and it damn sure ain't about fentanyl, which has been coming from China. And the reason why they don't go after China, because China has a country with infrastructure and a military that could bring it on against the United States if that was to happen. That's why we go. What happens is that the United States is this big bad wolf, and we know about the story of the big bad wolf. The big bad wolf is a story of a wolf that picks on pigs. You have one pig that was in a brick house, one that was in a straw house, and the wolf was able to blow the straw house down, right? But then when it came to the brick house, the wolf had a hard time blowing down that brick house because the brick house was fortified. Well, China is like that pig that lives in the brick house. United States doesn't mess with anybody that has a brick house because they know they can't blow them down like that. But they go after these small countries and then they go act like they're big and bad, put up their arms like they're a champion of something. This is weakness disguised as strength. And Donald Trump and his White House are the ones that are pushing the narrative. Okay? Now, let's get back to some more of this. Venezuela, this is crazy, everybody. This is just crazy. Here we go. Let's go.
Spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure.
See, again,
and start making money for the country.
Okay, that's the lie. Start making money for the country. This is not about making money for Venezuela. Once again, it's about making money for Donald Trump and his pockets, for the billionaires that have put him in the oil companies. The billionaires are responsible for putting money in his pocket to get him in office. He's paying them off and disguising this as a humanitarian mission to help Venezuelan people to have control of their oil. This is a damn lie.
Thank you for the super chat.
This is a lie. And the truth is not in this man called Trump here.
And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do.
If you need to do so. I want to stop it there because later on he does say that he doesn't believe in the vice president of the country, which is a female. And I'm going to play a video of her talking about what he did to Maduro. He was very sexist and saying, oh, no, she's not good. She can't do the job. Nobody supports her, like he lives over there in Venezuela. What a fool. Okay. And I'm going to say it again. Maduro is not a nice guy. He is a bad guy. We can't deny that. But here he is when they invaded the place. They struck it. They got him and his wife out of their bed sleeping. And you see him right here. Let me read something to you. This is what I think is really going on. Despite the fact that this guy is a bad guy, and it may be true that he was involved in pushing drug trafficking, but then again, Donald Trump's administration, excuse me there, folks, Donald Trump's administration are hypocrites. Why would you give a pardon to Juan Hernandez, who was the president of, what was that, Honduras? Gave him a pardon, but you don't have a problem with this man right here. This is what's really going. This is what some people believe, right? People believe that this is about banning the USURY, cutting ties with Israel. Okay, refusing a central banking system, and this is what's in the John Perkins book. He talks about this sort of stuff. okay? Kicking out corporate oil parasites, wanting to redistribute the oil wealth. The United States and Israel, imperialists, in power, is evil and a threat to the entire earth. Trump is a war criminal. I believe Trump is. I believe him and his administration, the White House, as I said before, is a dirty White House. There's been many other presidencies that have been dirty as well, but Trump's got to be the dirtiest, the way I'm seeing it right now. So this is crazy. Let me put this over here. So when they grabbed him up, they put him inside, I guess the DEA put him inside of a plane. They're flying him. They put him blindfolded so he can't see anything. And let me read something right here to y'all. So right here, Donald Trump has shared a picture of Nicolás Maduro on board the USS Iowa, saying the Venezuelan leader was captured in a military operation. According to Trump, Maduro and his wife, Flores, are being taken to New York to face indictment on drug charges. So we have to see what the evidence that they have. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the man has been dabbling in drugs, but the reason why I say again that it's a hypocritical situation is because he just pardoned someone who was doing the same damn thing. That I believe it was under Biden's administration that they put him in there in prison because he was such a type of criminal. And this is crazy. But then, like I said before, this is really all about oil. How many of y'all remember the Iraq War? In the Iraq War, they said it was about weapons of mass destruction, but yet they never showed us evidence of that, and there was none. In this war, in the 21st century, 2026 now, they say that they went into Venezuela because of drugs. Stop lying to us. We're not that dumb. They want to steal the oil, and that's what it's always been about, y'all. It's always been about the almighty dollar, the almighty oil resources that they're looking for. Just like they did the same thing with Saddam Hussein. Remember Saddam Hussein? When they went into Iraq, like I said, they went into Iraq on this notion that it was weapons of mass destruction, never found any weapons of mass destruction. It was always about the oil because Saddam Hussein, he couldn't even beat the Kurds that were to the north of him. And when they started burning those oil fields over there, the United States government didn't like the fact that Saddam Hussein and his people were trying to burn the Kurds' oil fields, you see. And then they let those poppy seeds and all that stuff over there, like that creates the heron that gets into our country. Nobody touched those poppy seed fields out there. So this is all BS. This is the same thing. It's like flipping a coin, and we're back to the past into the future when you've got this man right here, Maduro, being arrested by the United States government. Then you got Saddam Hussein. Now, keep this in mind. Both individuals are not good men. Saddam Hussein was terrible. He did horrible things to his own people, he did horrible things. He was a bad guy. But guess what? The United States government at one point in time saw him as an ally, saw him as a someone that they could use as their puppet. And when he got tired of being a puppet, that's when they got tired of him and had to get rid of him. Well, same thing with Maduro. They know what Maduro's been doing for quite some time. Trump is going in here because the oil is what is driving this situation. But this cannot be denied. Let me put this up here and give you the striking. Here, we're going back into history here. History. The Iraq, December 2003, Saddam Hussein captured by the United States. Okay. Venezuela, January 2026, Nicolás Maduro is captured by the same power, the United States of America. When the United States can't control a nation, it will criminalize its leaders. That's very true. Gaddafi. Remember Gaddafi? He wanted to make a Pan-African currency. He wanted one currency. He wanted to unify Africa. He had water resources, all sort of things. And that's when the United States, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Barack was in office at that time when it happened, if I'm not mistaken, all of a sudden they get rid of Gaddafi. This is the game that the United States plays. This is the game that the country that we live in plays. And check this out. He's not going to stop at this, just going after someone like Maduro, because he may go after Mexico. There's people that believe that. Says right here in this article in Axion, after capturing Maduro, Trump hints at military action in Cuba, Mexico, and Colombia. This could very well happen because the man is thirsty for power, control, and resources. He is a demigod. Another thing I noticed, he keeps going after countries where the people have my skin tone. I don't see him going over there into and going after Russia, where the skin tone is a lot more white in tone. He's not going over there and invading Russia and saying we're going to capture Putin and bring him back to the United States as a war criminal. Oh, by the way, Putin is a war criminal internationally in some countries where they're looking to arrest him. I just want y'all to understand these fundamental facts. This is crazy. Everything about this operation is crazy, but then it gets even worse, y'all. It gets even worse. Let me show you this right here. This was an article. I'm going to get back to some more video. This is an article that you need to really pay attention. This is what this is about. Donald Trump is paying off the people that put him in office, the people that are puppeteering him. He's just a figurehead. He is for the rich. He's for the billionaires. He is not for the poor. Right here, hundreds of big post-election donors have benefited from the Trump's return to office. The president learns he has created a higher, unusual fundraising ability, causing it to be in his favor. The Times analysts analyzed that more than $500 million in contributions from 346 donors. Some have received pardons, job access to president, and other valuable gains.
Thank you for.
This is what Trump is all about in his administration. And this is why we've got to get him out. And I got to be honest with everybody out there. Everybody keeps thinking that this nightmare is going to be over if we just simply get some Democrats in there during the midterms of this year. And I'm here to tell you, I don't think the midterms are going to end this nightmare. Because one, the Democrats have to get those seats. We're assuming that the Democrats are going to get all these seats. We assume that Donald Trump would never be back in office because of the January 6th situation and all the other stuff he's done, but yet he's in office. His administration to boot. In that White House, Donald Trump back in there because Democrats and other folks got lazy and thought that all we got to do is just run anybody. Well, Biden couldn't run because he had some health issues mentally, and Kamala Harris just wasn't the best candidate at the time, yet she didn't have a lot of time to run either. But people just thought that by default that Donald Trump would never get in because of that January 6th would be his death knell. Well, it wasn't. He got back in. The only thing we've got in our favor is the fact that Donald Trump does not have great health. But let me come over here to some more videos I want to show you. I'm not finished. This stuff gets crazier. Let's hear from the vice president, who now I think they're going to have to swear her in Venezuela as the president because Maduro is here in America, going to be in a prison cell coming near you.
We demand the immediate release of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, the only president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Wow.
Coming out against Trump. And that is extremely significant, not just because she saw what happened hours ago to the guy on top of her, but also because President Trump, about 2 hours before that video came out, said that Delcy Rodriguez was on board with the U.S. plan. He said that she was willing to do whatever is necessary to, in his words, make Venezuela great again, and that she was doing what he wanted. Here he is.
Who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite great.
Now, Donald Trump is trying to claim that she was down with what he did, but clearly in the beginning of this video, you could see that she ain't down with it. She's calling for the immediate release of Maduro. But Maduro, let's continue. Donald Trump, like I say, he's a transactional individual. He likes to cut deals with people. Let's go.
Gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice.
Wow.
Okay, we'll do whatever you need, he says, she said to Marco Rubio, and that she really doesn't have a choice. And she just said, this is a kidnapping and send him back. And,
Right.
you know, essentially thumbing her nose at Trump. All right, Kevin Liptak joins us.
She sees it as a kidnapping. It's just that simple. And I'm inclined to believe and feel that this is just like a kidnapping to a certain degree. Let's continue with more content here, everybody.
We demand the immediate release of Nicolas Maduro. What do you see here in this? There she is, in this pomp and circumstance, and the fact that they're just putting it out now.
Well, for starters, Aaron, let me tell you, earlier today, there were all kinds of rumors circulating that she wasn't even in the country, that she had traveled to Russia, which, of course, now we know was not the case. And it's not only important the fact that she has appeared publicly, it's also important the fact that she is surrounded by the people you see there. And some of the people who are with her are Jorge Rodriguez, the president of the National Assembly, who, by the way, Aaron, is her brother. Also, Diosdado Cabello, the interior minister. These are very powerful figures in the Venezuelan government. Among the things that she has said is that she's asking for calm and unity to defend the country. She said, the country will never be a colony of any nation. The other thing that caught my attention is one of the things
I like that. So the vice president that Donald Trump is trying to underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize said that they will not be a colony for any country. That's what they're standing on 10 toes down. Let me also show you this little piece of video right here as we get close to the conclusion. And this is a young lady on the ground in Venezuela giving a report. Here we go.
Us throughout our coverage today. Mary, did this broadcast from the vice president, did it broadcast on state media? I mean, exactly how is this been put out there and disseminated? Are you able to have any sense of how people are responding to it?
Yeah, this was a mandatory message broadcast on all over the radios and TV stations, local TV stations in Venezuela. So this is significant because they wanted to show that the government is reunited, that they are in union, and these are the main heads of the Chavismo and the Madurismo after Nicolás Maduro. As we were saying, Delcy Rodriguez is the main head of Venezuela right now as vice president, but she also runs the state-owned company, PDVSA. She's the minister of oil in the country, so she knows broadly about the economy, about how to handle the country. She says, especially that.
So she's talking about the vice president right now in charge of Venezuela, saying that she has a lot of experience in business and how to run things, in this case, run a country. And I think that's a good thing, given the circumstances that they find themselves in. Let me let you see. This is a video. It's a raw video when they finally landed in New York. They took Maduro off the plane, brought him into New York. They're transporting him. You've got agents all around him, surrounding him. I want you all to see how he was looking. Well, you're not going to really see him that well. You know, you see him on the plane with the goggles on. They don't want him seeing anything. You see him right here when they first got their hands on him and captured him. But you're going to see something very extraordinary here. It's going to be dark. The visibility is going to be poor in this video because it was dark when they took him off the plane and they were escorting him out. But just check this out, for instance. Check it out.
Hard to see, but eventually you will start to see it lighten up just a bit, and you'll see most people surrounding him are wearing black clothing, but he is not. He is wearing something that is lighter, a gray color, or it looks like gray, potentially light blue, but similar to what we saw in the pictures that were sent out by the administration. You are seeing him there flanked by so many agents and taking steps very slowly as they take him to the next position. I think we have Jim Sciutto back with us to give us some sense of just the bigger picture in all of this, because there are so many pictures.
So when you stop it right here, you look over to the right side and a little bit to the center, to the right, further right, you'll see a whole bunch of agents around him dressed in black. And then you see just look like a little bit of blue. Everyone's got black on, but he doesn't have black on. And that's them transporting him to a helicopter, what have you, to bring him to New York in that same jail where they had P. Diddy and all these other infamous people that have been there. I think he's even the same place that Epstein, the one that Donald Trump is trying to hide the truth from us about his involvement. And let's continue this right here.
And questions that people have about what happened here and what this is going to mean, not only to Venezuela, where you have seen some folks who are gleeful, happy to see him gone, felt that they lived in hell with his administration, but there are others.
So you can see them walking
him there, and what it means for the United States, where President Trump has said the United States will now run Venezuela for a time. Jim, this seems to be a huge shift in U.S. policy here.
No question. Let's talk about the ripple effects, right? The multiple ripples emanating out from this. So the first one, the most obvious one, is in Venezuela. Who leads the country now? Who runs the country? How does the U.S. run it if the president is true to his word here? Does that involve military forces on the ground, a long-term political engagement with that country to set it on its way to elections the president seems to be referencing here? That's an enormous task.
Decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
There you go, everybody. Donald Trump playing dictator. He's playing it out. This has been prophesized. Can you believe that America has morphed into what we have read about in history with countries in Europe, Mussolini of Italy, Hitler of Germany? All these countries had dictators, people that ruled over them. We got Donald Trump trying to build monuments in Washington, D.C. He wants to build monuments to himself. He puts his name on a Kennedy Center. I'm going to get into a video about that. He's putting his name on stuff. He's making statues to himself. He's making memorials to himself. He's doing everything that comes out of the playbook of a fascist, of a dictator. Wake up, America. It's here. I'm getting sick of people saying that we're gonna lose our democracy. We have already lost the democracy. Some of y'all just don't know it yet. This is Political Reacts.